people walking up to me on the street and having conversations about me. They were going to rob me, and that they're robbing people through the computer, keystroke viruses, going into people's accounts, getting their PIN numbers. They were doing this to my Gmail that they set up for me that I didn't want, and my Facebook, and going in and sending Facebook accounts. And I worked at Golden Corral, and they wanted to give me a credit card, a debit card, with a PIN number, and I told them no way, because these guys are telling me they're going to rob it. I got the Golden Corral, and I told them I wanted to receive my first check. They give me a debit card. I said, I don't want this debit card. They already told me they're going to go into my account and go in and take all the money out. There was never any money in my Golden Corral account. These are these guys admitting that they were taking the money out of my Golden Corral account. His name is Don. He's from the church. He's one of many. They come up to me. They tell me exactly what they're doing to my food, to my water. They tell me that they're going into my accounts and taking all my money. I go to the police station. I report it. They never make any reports. They tell me I have to report things that are happening in Charleston and other states. This is the guy admitting exactly how he takes out of my account.
How do they do the thing with the direct deposit? If they got your routing number to put it in, they got your routing number to take it out. The numbers are not different. Yeah, but how can, like, an employer, is that what you're saying? Yeah, they sure does. All we gotta say is, a mistake was made. That's all we gotta say. Regroup it right back up. Take it down. But I'll put you after somebody else's foot, Rob. Your employer has a payroll account. They have the routing. Right. They're not supposed to give that number out to nobody. They're supposed to give the company information out. Start it out. It's not fair. Next day, they can come in and take money out. They put in the wrong number. You file them all that shit.
The people that you're dealing with in payroll, and they take out the money. Others in the back are explaining how they robbed me. The employer has my routing number on the card, and one guy comments, there's always some way to get someone. Had dozens of tapes in a bag. This guy Rich, he stole it. He admitted to you on tapes you guys already have. He stole the bag and asked me to leave it with him, or I wouldn't be given any food. And what happens is when I go to the street and beg for $1 to get $3.38 for a burrito, they don't give me the money, and they tell me I have to go eat at the church or at Huddle House, and they poison the food. I get really sick. felt like I was having heart attacks in the woods. This is all these guys admitting this clear as day on dozens of tapes, and this is one of the guys I gave the tapes to, and him admitting after I asked him to get the tapes back, he can't find them. Approaching me at a different spot. He approached me, he started threatening me. After he attacked me in broad daylight with a steel rod, they come up to me at night, were dumping fluid on me, told me next time they see me they're going to shoot me bang bang with a 25, and you should have him on tape attacking me with a steel rod. This is him coming up and approaching me after he told me he was going to kill me next time he saw me, and he's approaching me and getting ready to hit me.
And now the last time that you walked up on me like this, man, you told me you were going to kill me. And I'm telling you to back away from me, man. So, that's the third time. Back away from me. That's the third time. No, you don't come close to me and say you're going to shoot. That's the third time you hit me. That's the third time you hit me twice. Up there. No, that's the third time. You're making threats and you're coming out here. No, I'm not making threats. I was talking to you. Don't come near me, man.
Heard the guys attacking me with a steel rod and threatening they're going to come up to me in the night. They know where I live and shoot me. The cops come. I report that he threatened me with a steel rod. He says, yeah, I remember you hit the guy with a pipe or a steel rod or something. He changes it around.
And a witness, some guy told the sheriff, got one report on him now, okay? And then all the street bums and him come up on the same bench a week ago, okay? His was still alive out of his backpack, okay? So, I doubt he's going to stick around. I mean, okay. I think remember you got the stick or something, right? No. Someone got hit with a stick, right? Someone took a steel pipe out, and then someone got hit with a stick. Okay. Guys, I'm sitting there trying to defend myself. I want to call people. My cell phone battery dead. What does this guy look like? He goes by JT. He's got on a bowl cap. He's got a beard. Okay, what's in your bag? The way we know it's yours. What's it look like? Well, he got a black book bag where I thought these guys, I left it down my wall. I don't know. But like I said, he's 54 to ignore you or to avoid you. I'm advising you to avoid him, okay? So if you guys can do that, make everybody's life a little bit easier. You won't have to worry about a steel pipe or a book bag gets stolen or anything of that nature, okay? So if I'm over here buying an arm, it's about 11 o'clock. You can put it on your stuff, but don't make any contact with him, okay? Don't make your boys go like go down the same aisle. That's what I'm saying. It's like, you guys are adults. Act like adults. Okay, well, he's saying you came up to him. He's saying you hit him. We have to let it go. There's three sides to every story. Your side, his side, somewhere goes the truth, okay? That's the way it works. So like I said, rather than take everybody to jail because he's saying you assaulted him, and he's saying you assaulted him, or whatever, however it works out, hey, just guys ignore each other. If you're doing business, that's fine. So you get your business done, kind of hightail it and go somewhere else. I ain't telling you to run. I'm telling you you can't go anywhere. Well, hey, if you want to hang out and run the risk of him throwing the red pipe out again, that's on you. I can only advise you, okay? Like I said, if you willingly put yourself in situations where he might be willing to take a lead pipe out and try to attack you, I'll do that at Walmart. Walgreens or Walmart? Walgreens. Yeah, they're just down by Walmart. That's why I'm not telling you can't go anywhere. I'm just telling you, hey, if you know this guy's got a history with you, he doesn't like you for whatever reason, he's got a steel metal pipe, you want to hang out and push his pipe, that's on you, okay? Like I said, we'll call him out there if he attacks you. But like I said, I'm advising you now, hey, if I knew that this guy didn't like me and he had a steel pipe and you wanted to bash my head with it, think I'm going to hang out with him? No. What's your name, son? Joe. Yeah. So you wouldn't call the police on him and have him up? I would, but if he came attacking at me, but like I said, if I could avoid the situation, as an adult, that's what I would try to do. Is before it got to the point of like, I'm having to fend someone off with a metal pipe. That's what I'm saying, okay? I'm not telling you you can't go anywhere. Yeah, you come in, you gotta do your shopping, you gotta do whatever you gotta do. But not like a tree, you gotta finish what you're doing and try to get as far away from this possible when there is no situation where we're not having to here talk with you, okay? Because there's gonna be certain outsiders that's gonna like say, screw it. Take them both to jail, let them tag out the course figured out. Because like I said, he's saying one thing, we're trying not to get you guys to go to jail, okay? But that'll solve our problem. You guys won't be a hassle anymore. We'll have to deal with you for 30 days. Because that's gonna get you guys 30 days in jail. That sounds like exactly. Like I said, I didn't want you to get hit with a pipe. I'm not saying that at all. I'm trying to get you to avoid getting hit with a pipe, okay? If I'm sitting on a Walmart, if you see him come walking through in a menacing manner, by all means, give us a call and we'll come out there and we'll on the sheriff's report. I don't know anything about this guy. I don't know anything about the sheriff. Same business, but, you know, different bosses, different ways of doing things, okay? It's like that. I'm just telling you, different bosses. Yeah, different ways of doing things. Like I said, hey, you want to hang out? You see him? You want to go try to make conversation? No! I want to clear this guy. All right? That's perfect. Friday, 11:25, in a Bilo, 4:45.
That's the result. What happens every time these guys attack me, the cops come, tell me I'm going to jail, and he knows in the beginning of the conversation from last time, he knew the guy tried to hit me with a steel pipe, and he tried to turn it around and said I was the guy that hit him with a stick. This is another one of the girls from the church taking my tapes after they have them for a month. They're saying that arrests are being made, all these people are going to jail. It has proofs that they're robbing my debit card, proofs of murder, attempted murder, all of them admitting how they're killing. And I asked her for the tapes back, and she won't give them to me. She admits that they're home in her drawer. This is numerous attempts to try and retrieve my tapes from this girl, Laura. Is Ian Malone. They all come up to me and pretend that they are friends with Mary. They say that they're from the church, they're looking out for me, etc. Each one of these people is really friends with this girl, Sandra Altamari. And after they rob my account or do something crazy, they admit that it's her. And this guy and Altamari, one of her businesses that she's in, she robs people's account. You heard the last guy admit that they hack into computers, and this guy is in the business with Altamari. They go and it's called a keystroke virus. They record your activities on your computer, and this is all explained next by him. And I asked him, well, are you guys going to let me work? And he says it's going to be one last slap in the face from God. It's another guy admitting that they don't let me work. I'm never going to work another day in my life. He approached me. I went to the bathroom, turned on my recorder, and asked him about this, how he's robbing accounts in the computer. He explains. takes all your money and watches your keystroke and records. You hear the last guy, Don, at the church, telling me how they're doing this through my payroll debit card at Golden Corral. There's never any money there. I will give the results of when I reported all this to the Charleston police in a few minutes. He says he's going to go to a different country. I asked him if his retirement plan is to siphon my account. He says I already did that. Continued on the other side. This is the end of the tape.
19 April, Charleston Police.
Stand by. Continuation. Job. He says he's going to slap me down again. They did this at my last job, were slapping me and telling me if I hit back that they would call the police, and I got fired. He says I'm going to slap you down, and it's going to be one more slap from God. Altamore, she always comes up to you like she's from the church or something. You could be in Siberia. She will send somebody to come up to you and say that they want to help you. You need to stay far away from these people. He says, in all seriousness, to do the right thing and help a person, or I go out of my way to do the most horrible thing to that person. He's talking about karma and all kinds of weird stuff like that. That they keep repeating to me, numerous different guys on the street keep repeating this to me. He says, starts out about animal rights.
And we're recently on animal rights and ecology. And ecology too. I mean, I tried to keep myself shut.
running out of tape. I kind of knew the timer. I was timing it. I had to change the tape over in the bathroom.
Here's the fish house, right? The fish is able to wiggle across the water. So they took a little slice of the fishy, and they gave it to the fish. And they go, yeah, look at this. The fish doesn't do fucking shit. He drops a little freezer, the fish fucking gets the hard on, it's good to go. That freezer fucking fruit peaches all day long, as well as 19 other varieties of fruit. So my argument back was, great. I said, I only have one question. Crypto storage on Appleseed. I said, well, I'm going to green light. 255 years ago, there was a folk tale about Johnny Appleseed, which was not a folk tale. But a guy who smoked in the countryside, stealing goddamn Appleseed everywhere. At the time, according to British governmental survey, planet-wide they knew of, there were 383 different types of varieties of apples. Right? Yay. As of when I last read this article in 1998, there were less than 90. That was due to cross-pollination, early genetic breeding, cross-pollination, like one species out of favor of another. And now we're down to 30. We have 30 fucking apples left in less than 250 years. It took 30,000 years to evolve them all. And now, in my article back about the fish thing, that was really crazy. I've got 11 different species of fruit that are simple and cold. And all those 11 species, we've wiped out all alternate species. It means this one kumquat, one goddamn kiwi, one goddamn peach, there's one goddamn blood orange. And I'll tell you what, they all share the same genetic variety. If there is any possible genetic mutation or disease that attacks that one species, the particular fruit will lose the last fucking peach, the last fucking whatever it is, last kiwi, based on the fact that we put all eggs in one basket, fuck us once again. And they don't get it. It's powerful. It is no worse and no stupider that if you were able to clear a box where you stay right now, secret headquarters, example, you are not allowed to walk into Piggly Wiggly, right around the corner, or whatever other football is, and try to sell your wares. There's been a law created to stop you from selling any food. Your two best chickens in town, you cannot sell to KFC. This is the same absurdity that I was trying to explain to you earlier when you walked into Jim and Dick's Barbecue. You're a human being, and they're a corporate entity. This is like, it's like trying to take a DC adapter and AC plug and stick them together. And none of it works. This is what's wrong about big change. All of it starts at ground level. I think it capsule several of Brother Planet brings back discrimination and disrespect. We need to reset the way. So how does your laser ray thing plan? But the mentality of an individual that buys stupid things such as cell phone disruptors and switch. Let's see if that asshole knows he's drinking. If I was a time-traveling, hold-the-switch motherfucker, I could switch. Oh, that's George Bush. Things have been different. I honestly do. If you look at that motherfucker when he was campaigning 4 years ago, and he went to the Middle East, Germany, and he was getting fucking weed, and he was going whatever. That motherfucker could have done it. We did not need to attack. We didn't need to touch a thing. All we needed to do was drop in Afghanistan. And that was it. What was that about? It makes some sense. The whole thing with the lifestyle thing, been here for a while. What I'm saying is that somebody was saying to me, he said, look, we're not about this. So it's like, wow, this is here, it goes here, it goes sister, and this domino, so this domino, right? Well, I would have said, okay, it's important. It live in 30 years, and we don't know what year, because it's here, and the people only, everyone, there are certain people out there hyper smart, and you are hyper smart, I feel that. You see, that's what I'm saying, you see things, it's a crazy thing, you see shit, you see causality and effect. You know, well, goddamn, if I do this, this is going to happen. And we all got it. Right? Well, we all think we do. And then boom. And then you have to add it, of course, again. You go, well, sure, you and I lack a filter where we, if I ever saw any Dick Cheney, for example, good God, I would fucking scoff at him while I ask the question. But the point being is, most people have to go to day-to-day life, and they don't want to talk about this shit. They want to talk about the Ohio State game, or the Kentucky game, you talk about and I've always told those you don't follow this shit, I'm like, no. I have a different sport I follow. It's called human affairs. And it's a survival of our species. I'm not sure if it's going to work, but I'm damn sure participate in one perfect world.
He was talking about the world-changing perception of us. He says us, and he wants to change Obama with Bush. Because few of them came up to me and they told me that George Bush was a problem for me and that he ordered all this stuff to happen to me. This guy is another one that's saying he wants to change Obama with Bush. You also hear him point to my drink and say, wonder if that halo over there knows what's in his drink, which is my drink, is water. First day in Charleston, I was looking out, I think it was East Bay, looking out of Fort Sumter. I was approached by two guys, and they said, we want you to go to this church. They have work for you. And it makes me think, in my mind, that it's you guys, and you're trying to help. But it was actually a guy telling me he's going to put a contract on my leg, and I won't be given any food at all unless I go for a mental health assessment, where you already know they have phony psychiatrists writing these bogus reports, making up all kinds of lies on me. I said, what did you mean when you said when they have control over you and their first basic concern, and he says, and their first basic concern is that you're going to be fed and that you read between the lines. I went to the shelter. They won't let me in the shelter. I have that on tape somewhere too. 5 days in a row. I'm first online. I'm a veteran. I'm at the shelter. They will not let me in. And the guy says, I realize that you're first online, and then it's your second day without food, but we're not giving you any food.
You know when he says when they have control of me. Well, I mean, that doesn't mean control in the sense that, this is how we're going to get out. But they got control over your focus. They're willing to take control and do what they know that is to help you do this. That's control of the whole world. The only thing I was looking for was basically job placement. Like, it's a job that income is 40 months on it. There's two dimension association individual
shelter. They're turning me away. No shelter and no food for you. I said, but this is my second and third day on the line. I'm first online. I waited hours here and they won't give me any food. I have that on tape. Says they will help you get work. He's looking at me in the eye. He says, but at the moment, you're going to have trouble getting work. I have each interview, I went on trying to fill out applications at different gas stations. Each guy says very, very clear on the tapes that they are not going to let me fill out applications. They know who I am, and we're not going to get along. You're going to give me my life back? He says, right. Without no housing, you've got no job. I can prove that I was first online at the shelter. He says, without no housing, he's telling me, I know we're not giving you any housing with an address. Nobody is going to hire me unless I put down that I was at the shelter and I had an address. He says, without no housing, you've got no job. They won't give me any food, and unless I go for a mental health assessment, we all know what happens when I get there. So he's saying without no housing, you've got no job. And unless you go to this mental health assessment, you've got no housing, you've got no job, and we will not give you food. I can prove they were not giving me any food. The situation, or you not get a job without a residence, is going to be a vicious cycle. He wants to take control by having me go to this mental health assessment. I said, well, there's nothing wrong with me. The question that should come up is, wait a minute, who is this guy? How does he know me? I'm looking for work. I'm looking for work. He wants to send me to a mental health assessment, and he's telling me, without the mental health assessment, you are not going to find any food. We're not going to feed you. That's proven on the shelter line. I can give you that tape if you want. And it's going to be a vicious cycle. Without a job, you'll have no residence. And it's going to be a vicious cycle. They're going to take control. I know you don't like being told what to do. I know that you want your freedom.
Freedom and giving back your life. Yes, like you said, those are two good things, right? During the situation, it's very difficult to change things. Perfect track record for 35 years. You know, all of a sudden I started stumbling on some things that people were telling me to back off and not talk about. And my life changed after that. Yeah. To that, you know, all my finances, my housing, everything, they were taken away from me. And they told me, hey, back off, you're not supposed to tell anybody what you saw or heard here. But then, you'll hear nice blank sheets, and they would tell you. They would tell you. Do you realize what happened, though, what I'm telling you? No, you're not supposed to talk about this and this and this, and well, we're going to take this and this and this from you to the point where I am now. Well, you know,
a contract if you give us this. I'm going to replay that.
Yeah, there's some bad people inside the government that I've worked with. Yeah, they say we can do a contract.
We will give you a contract if you give us this. You can hear it clear as day.
Yeah, there's some bad people inside the government that I've worked with. Yeah, they say we can do a contract. What do you mean? Yeah, yeah, because of that, some bullshit. Yeah. See, that's what I want to do is somebody that is, in negotiation, you said, give me back your life and freedom, and now you're saying the word bribe, which did happen in the past, and you're telling me just don't say anything about it. And I'm go ahead. What I'm doing is, like you're saying, you don't have to tell people about it. That's the thing I keep doing, and that's where I keep losing all of my... Yeah, it does answer any more questions from now. I'll volunteer.
Go back about 30 seconds. Right before he says, because of that, he says the government took a bribe, and because of that, you're here now. He's right before he says, because of that, he says the word bribe. I repeat it back to him. You guys are saying bribe, I'm hearing bribe, and he admits, he says, you don't have to tell anyone about it, and don't volunteer that information. You have to ask yourself, one, who is this guy? I don't know these people. They come up to me. I'm supposed to be there for a job. These are all the things that he's telling me. That because they took a bribe, I'm here now, and they're going to take control back from me. And if I give them this, what I'm doing to them now, they're going to give me a contract. The contract is to my food and water. That's very evident on all the tapes. Don't tell about the bribe. Next he says, you know the situation, you are not going to get legal justice here. Right there, he just made a death threat. He says, what I'm seeing at the moment is 500 people in a village that were massacred and butchered. And I'm looking at him like, well, what does that have to do with what we're talking about? He's making a death threat. Right there, he just said, I know you're mad about it. It was your son or daughter that was cleaved in half, but give it to God. Remember, this is the first 10 minutes of meeting this guy. I was approached. They want me to come and talk to him about getting a job. How does he know all these things about me? Played this tape to 3 investigators at Charleston Police. None of them would make a report. I have the one cop saying, yes, I understand that there's a contract on your life, and this guy is admitting that he took a bribe. This is one of the results of when I go to get a report. happening in Charleston, and she knows I already spoke to Corporal Jones. Where is the report? I went in numerous times looking for reports, looking for help, tell him this guy's admitting he took a bribe, that someone should question him. How does he know me? How does he know my daughter was cleaved in a court, and he knows I'm very mad and going to take control of my life, and what contract on my life is he talking about? They all understand, they heard the tapes clearly, and they don't write reports. I got home, I had a lot of very profitable information for you that was in my property. A lot of it has been changed. A lot of the things that you're hearing now were hidden in a Jewish cemetery. The water sample that I brought from South Carolina, the sheriff stole out of a sealed package, and I asked them about it. They said there was no water sample inside, and they stole the water. I tried to stay at the Good Shepherd, 336 Broadway. I was approached by some guy. He says his name is Sean Mitchell. He's born in 1978, and he's following me around Patterson. He's told me that he was going to kill me and that there was a contract on my life, and he starts talking all crazy stuff about stealing credit cards to the computer, robbing me, etc. This is Sean Mitchell. So his name is Sean Mitchell at the Good Shepherd. 1978 I was born, he says. 2005, this Sandy and all these people would come in and out of my apartment and steal the 1998 Randall Sobrian Reed seal order with my daughter and other documents that Nestor Guzman would mail to me. They would steal these documents. I would go to the chief of police, Boyle and Totowa, and tell him that each time I come in the past 5 years, none of your guys write reports. Van Ness, Detective Blakely, I've reported to Boyle and told him none of you guys are writing reports. There's 2 cars that had sugar in the tank, and each time somebody does something to my car or steals out of my apartment, you will not write reports. Boyle admits that he would not write reports back then, and this is a new day and all that happened a long time ago, and he mentions this guy that has threatened me at the Good Shepherd, Sean Mitchell.
You're reporting something that happened so long ago now. You're not here anymore, right? No, I was coming back every week reporting stuff. There should have been at least like 20, 25 reports. My car, you just swipe sugar down the tank, the tank, and where we showed it, they're on that. Yeah, reports. There's been different reports. And I had come in and I caught this one guy stealing court orders, docs, different letters that I put in politics, the guy trying to stuff it in the municipal pocket. And I don't stop. I said, oh, so what do you want to do anything with that? I came back and you were with the mayor last night, right? And you said that everybody's in a conspiracy against you and the police are in it, so yeah, I just wanted to know whether it was yours for it. It's such an expensive path, 3 cars. And what year was this? This was like 5 years ago. And what I did is I went down south, and there's really no work there, so my goal is to try and make sure that something doesn't happen again. You know, okay. I want to get back up on my feet and running. That would be a good one. Get back. Okay. Super high and okay. I like that art, but I can keep without anybody dumping some sugar down the tank. You know, maybe you think it's so bad, you should stay out of trouble with it. Right? Come on. This is where the work is, North Jersey. Yeah, we don't have to be in trouble if you have problems here. But that's not the solution. You know, I'm a victim of it. You know, okay. Running away from it. You know, okay. So there might be safer places for you to go. Like, I don't know. Anyhow, you had the dog fights last night. You said there was a guy named Sean Mitchell playing on what there was. Really? You gotta be kidding. I kid you not. I heard that name somewhere. I was like, what? Hey, he's one of them. There's one Mitchell. I know. That's one Mitchell's a main guy. So he's, he plays the bagpipes. I don't know what he plays, but he was in the band. He was here. And he's a wing guy. Yeah. Come on. If it's the same as Sean Mitchell.
The night before I met with the mayor and I reported the chief, Van Ness, and Blakely to the mayor mentions Sean Mitchell from the Good Shepherd that is following me around. And I asked him about it. He says he's a Wayne cop and he was here. Chief came up to me and says, we're going to get Sean Mitchell after you. Sean Mitchell is on this tape at the Good Shepherd. Stand by. Charleston. I went to the shelter. I went online. I was first online. They would not let me into the shelter. They would not let me have any food. I went back the second day, third day, fourth day, fifth day. Told them, look, this is day 2 and 3. You guys won't give me any food. I'm a veteran. I have that tape. I can prove that happened. What they would do is they wouldn't let me work. And people would come up to me in the street and say, I'm from the church. I know you're hungry. I want to give you food. They would put drugs in my food. You have this guy, Keith, the Keith cop, stating that they're putting drugs in my food and I don't have a leg to stand on. I'm not going to pass a drug test. This is one guy admitting he was making me peanut butter sandwiches and putting marijuana in it. Peanut butter sandwich. He said hemp. I said marijuana. He said yes, marijuana. I said you need that at your house. His name is Brian. They all come to me and say that they're from the church and they drug my food. You've got this guy Keith, cop, Kettle House, stating you went downtown and you told the police on me and I fired you from your job. He's also admitting I'm never going to work another day in my life and that he's putting drugs in my food and I'm not going to have a leg to stand on. This is what happened after I went to the police. I reported all these guys. I was working at Golden Corral, and these are the results of what happened at Golden Corral after I told the police. Amador, employee, Golden Corral, Charleston, 15 September 10th.
I say outside of work? He says yes. I ask him the same questions. He keeps repeating numerous times, yes, yes, yes. That's why Mr. Pace got on my face like that Monday. He says, yeah. I said, if you know someone that wants to kill me, yeah. Outside of here, Pace will fire me. Amador says, right, no talk. And he says, they will kill you. September 16th, 10, Amador, Golden Corral.
You should have this Keith Hudson saying you went down to the police and I fired you. This is what happened. I was at my job at Golden Corral. It's a very simple job, mise en place, keep everything straight, keep fresh product, keep everything filled up, and they told me, oh, you're doing a great job. And this guy approached me and said, I'm going to get fired. Mr. Pace, my manager, the next day after this conversation, he got up into my face again, spraying spit in my face. He went and told me that I was down at Joe Riley's office after I told the police. There were no results at the police, and they had this kid Amador come up and say, admit that this guy Pace will say he doesn't know what we're talking about and that they'll deny everything. The next day after this conversation with this guy Amador, who's an employee at Golden Corral, this is Mr. Mack and Mr. Pace. They come up to me, get in my face, and say, don't think I don't know what is going on around here. They warned me about talking to the police, and he says, obviously I don't care. And obviously you don't care. The rest is too hard to hear. It's way too staticky in there. Needless to say, I was fired. Says, I want you to leave and I don't want you to come back. And I said, okie doke. My parents are forced to do things to me. They would tell me where I was. They're doing all this against their will. They're being forced to do this. My father said he will have problems with his pension, and he says it's getting much worse. So I asked him about it, and I said, hey, what do you mean when it said it got worse? He's trying to ask me for help, telling me about the phone lines, and when I come in, the phone lines, etc., problems with the phone. There's problems with the phone. When I left South Carolina, he was expecting me to get the word out to New Jersey and get them some help. Next is the total mayor. I came home from South Carolina. I was staying at the Good Shepherd, 336 Broadway. I was approached by a Sean Mitchell, who says his birthday was in 1978. Mitchell was threatening me and telling me he was told to rob me. He was following me around Patterson. It should be on another tape also. 14 February 12, I explained break-ins in my apartment, 254 Totowa Road, 5-6 years ago. They would come in and out of my apartment in Totowa and steal the 1998 Ray Seal Randolph Sobrine order. My daughter's mother and stepdad were supposed to go to jail on that transcript as per Randolph Sobrine if we had to go to court again. Altamari was calling Guzman and Caposello at 401 Grand Street and telling them to flip it so I couldn't see my daughter. Detective Van Ness and Blakely and Chief Coyle from Totowa Police Department, friends with racketeer Sandra Altamari, and I explained to the mayor that Chief Coyle said, and Chief Coyle comes up and interrupts and says that Sean Mitchell is part of the band, and he's on also on the tape from the Good Shepherd. So the chief comes up and interrupts the mayor and I and starts mentioning Sean Mitchell. Not talking to me, but making sure I hear the word Sean Mitchell, who just threatened me the night before at the Good Shepherd. This guy says his birthday is in 1978. Mitchell followed me around Patterson and said he would rob me and kill me. After Chief Quarrel interrupted the mayor and I, my conversation mentions Sean Mitchell from the Good Shepherd. I proceed with the conversation and tell the mayor that Chief Quarrel and Detective Wakely and Van Ness friends with Racketeer Center Altamari and called the judges in Patterson, and my family and I cannot see my daughter. In 1998, Randolph Sobrian said that Mom and Stepdad would go to jail if we come back to court. I tell the mayor I caught Altamari's friends in my apartment years ago stealing that race seal Randolph Sobrian order, and I report in court in Totowa. I caught the guy trying to steal those, and he got some lumps on his head trying to steal and walk out with that information from my apartment. We got to the Totowa judge, and I report Nestor Guzman corruption, and that in that court, please look at that transcript. 14 February 12th, this is Mayor John Quarrel. Is Chief Quarrel, who is friends with Altamari and all these guys, just came up and interrupted myself and the mayor. You hear him say, hey, who are those guys? Meaning, who are those guys that are following me around Patterson? Same Sean Mitchell that is on the tape. And he says, I'm Sean Mitchell, and we are today at the Good Shepherd at 336 Broadway. My name is Sean Mitchell. 1978 is my birthday. The chief just came up and interrupted myself and the mayor and said, Sean Mitchell. I can't see my daughter, and that they're stealing the court orders from my apartment and putting sugar down the tank, and they fired me from HSBC Route 4 Paramus. I was a loan officer, and I was fired for reporting Chief Coyle, Detective Blakey, and Van Ness I was trying to report them to Mr. Benedict at the Total Police Department. I was fired from HSBC. You hear the Mayor, John Quirrell, acknowledging that he hears everything that I'm saying. Stand by. This guy's name is Keith Hudson. He's one of many that approached me in Charleston, South Carolina at the Huddle House. He told me he's a cop. He harasses me and threatens me, makes death threats, and harasses me with the police. In this conversation, he is trying to get me to go to the VA and get some lab work done and lie to them and tell them that I drink. And he says if I don't do this and don't do it his way, I will never work for the next 5,000 years. Notice that this kid, Brian, admits putting marijuana into my food. I've never taken drugs or drank. Somewhere along the line, I would have failed a drug test. I have asked repeatedly for drug tests every single day, so it would be impossible for me to fail one. What these guys went is to their contingency plan B. You hear this guy coming up, Keith Hudson, that he is putting every drug in the sun and poison into my food, admits poisoning me and admits putting all these drugs in my food, and that I am going to fail a drug test and not have a leg to stand on, and that I will never work another day in my life. And then earlier in the conversation, in one of these tapes, this guy Keith Hudson, they're all trying to force me, after drugging me and poisoning me continuously to the point of almost death, to go to the VA and get lab work done, so I will definitely fail a drug test. This is Keith Hudson. Next, he says he has a dossier on me. He went to all of my jobs and he found out I was fired from every job, and they said they have all these records on me that they made up that I'm not able to work because I was fired from all my jobs. Note 2, in one of the tapes you have on this Keith Hudson, he says he's taking responsibility for firing me from all of my jobs, and that he fired me recently from Golden Corral for going down to the police department and talking. Once again, he is taking responsibility for firing me from all of my past jobs and is saying that I will never ever work another day in my life, and unless I go to the VA and get the lab work done, because he knows and admits that they're putting all these drugs into my body. And let me tell you guys, you could have picked up these tapes years ago on a weekly basis. This wouldn't have happened to me. It was no fun what they were putting into my food, and I just think that you could have came forward and had a relationship with me and found out what was going on. I hadn't heard from anybody in 3 years. You guys left me out there in the field, and I was trying to support you. And if you had this information back then, I think it would have been a lot easier for everybody, especially when I had a near-death experience with what they were putting into my food. This is a continuation of Keith Hudson. Next he says that they're firing me for talking and I'm not allowed to talk. Once again, this guy is friends with Sandra Altamari from the north, and my daughter's mom. When my daughter was 9 years old, they pulled her out of school. They said that I raped her, and it was found that I didn't do this. They restored my visitation. On Judge Guzman's transcripts, my daughter's mother says that I raped my daughter and I used to do sexual things to her when she was little. His next comment is that he could say statutory rape, that I raped his 9-year-old daughter. He's speaking for my daughter's mother and about my daughter Danielle, and lie, and I would have to prove that I didn't do it. In 2001 and 2002, in the Nestor Guzman transcripts, my daughter's mother was there. She said I raped my daughter and I couldn't see my daughter anymore. He's saying he lied his ass off and I have to prove I didn't do it. I tried to report this guy to the Charleston police. He told me don't go down and report anyone to the police or I would be fired. Next, he's talking about every job I had in South Carolina. They get all the girls to lie about me and said I sexually harass them. In 1989, I took my daughter's mother to court, and she made false accusations to Dr. Dasher, Passaic County, and in the court, she said that she was going to bring my daughter in. The false allegations were that I was sticking my fingers in my 2.5-year-old daughter's vagina, and that he's going to have me arrested. I did 3 years just in jail now for raping my daughter. That's what he's talking about next. Says that they can say that and lie, and I'll have egg on my face. referring to a black guy that did 27 years in prison and he never touched her. He's talking about searching the country for me. Everywhere I go, I'm tracked. He says, well, why would they track the mother and search the country for her? They already know that she did it. But they're tracking me and searching the country everywhere I go, and he's admitting he knows my daughter's mother did it. He said it's never been fair. People don't fight fair. And I say, how can you sit here and say I raped my 9-year-old daughter? I say I never did that. He says, well, people love lies. Saying he's going to contact my high school teachers, my Army sergeant, my mother, my father. My mother and father have been contacted and they're forced to lie on Trenton Psychiatric Hospital's report. It says they spoke to my mother and that I quit Johnson & Wales because of my drinking problems. You hear this guy telling me earlier he wants me to go to the VA and tell them that I drink. I said, why do you want me to go to the VA and lie? He says, do it this way or you're never going to work for the next 5,000 years. Also says you're going to be leaving South Carolina very soon because you're not going to get a job. We'll get to that later, why I had to leave South Carolina in an emergency situation. Says you know when you're going to get a job again? Absolutely never. He said I'm going to be leaving South Carolina very, very soon, and that I raped my 9-year-old daughter, and he's going to have me put in jail or prison for 3 months or 300 years. This happened when I got home. He is friends with, he said, Sandra Altamori and my daughter's mother. Once again, my daughter's mom and Sandra Altamari have been saying that I raped my daughter, and that's the reason that I can't see my daughter. On the Judge Guzman transcript, she comes into court and says all these years that I haven't been able to see my daughter is because I did sexual things to her when she was little. That's what this guy's talking about.
Not allowed to talk about the fact. That's what I'm going to do. Fine. Unless you come back all the time. And you're going to represent this person. And guess what? I'm going to buy it. For the rest of their thing, but I don't do that. I'm telling you, so nice that under a bias one, you will do that. I don't know that. I'm sorry, that's what's going to happen. No, we're not going to get it. You're not going to get it back, brother. Tomorrow? What else is it? We'll try it. We'll give it a go. Hey, if I can use it, I will. If I can't,
What just happened there, there's a guy behind me where I can't see him. His name is Fred, and they throw things in my coffee, and he's got something in his hand. They call it biodiesel that has been really messing me up when I was down there. It's some kind of a biological or nuclear product. They call it biodiesel. Says you're not allowed to talk. This took place at Huddle House, 9 April 11. This guy, Keith Hudson, just said I'd be leaving South Carolina very soon. This is what he means. People looking over there, a lot of people looking over here. It's always organized. They have witnesses that are going to say, I hit this guy. And he's admitting he's pulling out a piece of steel rod and he's swinging it at me. The Charleston police came later and they said that they were going to put me in jail.
Sit down, man. You're threatening me with a piece of steel. I don't give a shit what I'm threatening you with. You just went and hit me with a piece of steel. I'm asking you to put it down. Put the piece of steel down. You realize what you're doing? Come on. Calm down. You better back up. Do not confront me. I'm just telling you, you're walking towards me. I'm backing up. You just whipped a piece of steel at me.
Attacked right in front of everybody in broad daylight. It's organized. They have their witnesses all around. You hear them saying, there's people over there, people over there, people over there. The police did come and they said they were going to put me in jail.
Someone else, you threatened me. You just pulled out a piece of steel. What are you doing? You just told me you're looking for me with a piece of steel. I think you need to back off and go home, man. Think so? Yes. I hope you will. What's that mean? I hope you will. What do you mean? Because I know where you live. So what does that mean, man? I hope you will.
I stay, and next time he comes, they've been coming up to me in the night and dumping fluid on me, which we'll get to later. He says the next time I come, it's going to be with a 25, and it's going to be bang bang. This guy, he's in charge of all these gangs and all these people coming up to me. He admits that he sends them and calls them the insurance man. I walked into his office and he starts telling me that he is emailing a girl that I have a restraining order, that has a restraining order on me. Her name is Joanne, and they're hacking into my accounts and sending her emails from me. That they hack into my emails and send people emails from me, and I says they hack into my email, and he says yes. I said, well, why would somebody do that? He says they get paid a lot of money. From what I understand, this Joanne Grasso was receiving emails from me that I never sent. There was also another guy, he claimed he was from the church. His name is Stan Motley. We'll get to him later. He was sending Joanne Grasso emails from me. They also, from what I understand, hack into my Facebook, and he says that there's passwords that they change. I can no longer get into my Facebook. My password has been changed to something I don't know. He just explained it all. Guy Rich is in charge of everybody. He drew me into his church and said he knew people from Aiken and knew all of my friends, and he wanted to help me. He was on my team. I gave him a locked box with very important documents in it, and somehow he opened that lockbox and he stole everything out of it. He also walked me around the church. I had a lot of these tapes and proofs in a bag, which you hear the guy with the steel rod talking about he knows where I sleep and they're going to come. And this is Rich. He told me to hide my bag in the bushes, and or the insurance man would come. That's these guys that are threatening me with the steel rod. They come up to me in the middle of the night and they attack me. I'm not allowed in the shelter, and I'm not allowed to have any food, and I have to sleep behind Rich's church where these guys have access to me. And he admits that he told me to put my bag in the bushes or the insurance man would come, and the insurance man is a hitman. It's actually these low-budget guys, the street guys, that were attacking me with the steel rod. You heard the guys attack me with the steel rod. They said, I know where you live, we're going to come up to you. And they came up to me and they dumped all this fluid on me. And Rich says that the insurance man come and see you and speak to you. And he admits that he told me to put my bag in the bushes or the insurance man would come. These guys came up to me the next night. Yeah, I walked me around the church. Yeah, you wanted me to hide that bag in different spots in the bushes? Yeah. He said that even if I had a lockbox, they would still be able to get into that. How? No, I said, I said it's probably a matter of time if you put a lockbox out there that someone would see someone going in and out, and whether break the lock or jump on it or something. I don't know. You never know, but yeah. the eye and said, did the insurance man walk back there and talk to you last night?
So I know when he tells me, I know where he's coming from. Oh, well, so you might put out a color okay.
He says, what did he say to you when he walked back there? That was in the middle of the night. They woke me up and they dumped all this fluid on me. I told him I was in my sleeping bag. Guy knows that all the tapes were in my bag, and if I put the bag down, they steal it. So he was threatening me and telling me I better leave my bag with him so he could search it.
You remember the other day before you dropped me off down there, you wanted to leave that bag with you? Which is it? The other day? Yeah, when we were leaving, to go downtown. Yeah, sure. You wanted me to leave the bag with you? That black bag? Yeah, I was saying that if you didn't want to carry it with you, you could leave it in the river. Yeah. I could.
Says is, yeah, that's the insurance guy doing his job. That's how he puts food on his table, and he doesn't want me to get hurt out there. Most of the action takes place at Huddle House. This next guy that approaches is William Cameron. He told me he knows there's things going on in politics and that Barack Obama is involved and that they're poisoning me and putting rat poison, sodium fluoride into my water. Sodium fluoride, rat poison, we put it in your water. I asked him what would be the purpose of putting rat poison into my food and water, and he says slow kill. Same guy, William Cameron, at Huddle House where all this takes place, and I said, what would be the purpose of you guys putting rat poison in my food? And he says, to kill you. That's what they're doing, they're killing. Says that's what they're doing, they're killing.
That's called murder. He says, yep, exactly.
The Bilo employee coming up and threatening me and mentioning this diesel product that they're using. It's got something to do with the fluid they're dumping on me and putting in my food and water.
Get the heck little thing just gushing out of their neck, and I'm like, who are you? But in real life, I'm like, I try to do this, so I don't know why. I'm like, what is that? I think it's because of the odor. If I smell plasma, I get sick. What's that? Oh, blood. Yeah, it's so sweet to describe it. Do you know what diesel is in gasoline? Diesel is the byproduct or an after effect of gasoline. When they're separating the gasoline from oil. You got gasoline on one side, you got diesel on the other side. Diesel would almost like be like plastic, and gasoline would almost be like moisture, white blood cells or white blood cells. I think actually plastic is white blood cells. I don't know. I'm not a hematologist. So what is diesel gasoline? Oh, I was just using a metaphor.
Next day in 2012 is something like that supposed to be happening to me, and he answers.
2012 blood and all that. Is that supposed to happen to me or what? What do you mean, Jake? I don't know. It's like the whole blood thing, this, that, diesel, gasoline. I see 2012 where I'm going to die anyway because of my doomsday calendar, but I don't know. I don't really see anything changing in anyone's physiology unless we have a dramatic shift. I mean, the only way to actually, for us to change on such a large dramatic scale, we would have to have some serious gravitational shift.
I was outside the Bilo in Charleston. There was an employee named John. He came up and he approached me with this weird conversation. Stand by.
Chemistry of trying to just go up and down. Alright, never mind. We'll still live. Have a good one. Thursday, 12:23, Bilo John. 7:30 p.m.
The same thing. It's one of the guys that's in on this. His name is Greg. At a bar called The Edge, I would go into different places for water. He'd start a conversation about killing me and how they're putting this stuff on me, dumping it on me. It's fluid, and it was dumped around me, and it goes up into the air. And when I breathe it in, I couldn't breathe. I had to get out of the area. This is Greg at The Edge. Says not only is it airborne, but I'm ingesting it and eating it. I asked him, what kind of chemicals are you using? And he said, all kinds. Again, if I can ingest it, he says, yes, you're ingesting it and inhaling it. last guy told me it was diesel, and he says, yeah, it's kerosene diesel.
I heard the same thing about diesel. What's that kerosene?
Yes, kerosene diesel, the same as the last couple guys.
So you can breathe in it. Damn, it'll give you cancer?
I said, so it fumes up? He said, yeah, it fumes up into the air. This guy Rich talked about the insurance man and the guys with the steel rod telling me they know where I live and they're going to visit me at night. They dumped this fluid on me, and they also dumped it all around me, barrel loads of it, and the area was wet when it didn't even rain, and it smelled like kerosene or something, and I couldn't breathe. It was in the air. I next tell him that it must be in a certain area, right? And he says, yeah, and it dissipates into the air. There's not a whole lot of awareness of what I'm breathing in, people dying and being dead.
Sounds like a torture kind of deal. So long, you know.
I said, sounds like torture, kill them all, and he said, yeah. And he said something about keeping me on death row. This guy again is Keith Hudson. He comes and he picks me up. He offers to buy me food. I'm not allowed to be in any shelter. He already explained to you that I'm never going to work another day in my life, and I'm not to be given any food unless these guys give me food, and it's poisoned. He comes, he picks me up, and we talk now about him being pissed off because I sent emails on my computer, and they pull me over and put me in cuffs.
And you're pissed off because I sent an email on the computer that you sent. Everything you do is send an email. Once it goes into outer space, anybody can retrieve it. If you were looking at pornography 25 years ago, you know it.
I've eaten their food. I've been very wasted. Like, I drank 2 cases of beer. I almost got hit by cars. I passed out in the woods a lot of times. So every few days they would dose my food, and he talks about it here.
But that's not what's happening. And what happens to you? Kind of a product called rupees, heroin, methamphetamine, and overdose. You know what this shit costs? This ain't cheap. I ain't gonna be wasting my time giving you my expensive drugs and pissing you off. Unless you stepped on my fucking toes and you pissed me off when you were peeking in my daughter's bedroom window.
Very interesting how I was peeking in his daughter's bedroom window. He already claimed that he knew Sandra Altamari and my daughter's mother, and he speaks openly in the past about me raping my daughter when she was 9. They're going to put me in jail and have me killed, which I just got done doing 3 years, and he was connected to this Judge Guzman, which is Sandra Altamari is, and the Sandra Altamari was claiming that I went to her house and would peek in her bedroom window.
And somewhere along the line, since you've been here, you haven't spit somebody else out. You could have had a conversation with somebody and you said, "Hey, it's easy to do with these fucking places here. And I want you and the bartender is throw the shit in the water, anything. And you're done. Right. And you know how much you're going to try and get me, and you know how much that gets a big it look like you're going to fail. You're going to fail. Yes or no? Okay. Yes. Yes to all your answers. And then guess what? You don't have a leg to stand on, and I'm going to suck up to you every single day in jail for the rest of your fucking life. Oops. So how, this is where I need you to come back with your brain. It's a little fucked up. I don't know why your brain doesn't, you have a disconnect when we're having a conversation. Because once you have a conversation, soaking in what I'm trying to give you an example of. This has nothing to do with you. It has to do with anybody. Okay? I mean, the last thing you told me to me, don't walk down the street at 2 o'clock in the morning with your laundry bag, and you won't be bringing bad shit to you. Okay? Also, the next time the cop that you don't know is going to get out, the first thing he's going to do is smack you up the side of the fucking head with a nightstick, and you're never going to wake up again. And yeah, the knife will be planted, the gun will be planted, on you, and you're a fucking drug called legalized murder, and we can get away with it every single fucking day. Right. That was explained to me in Augusta. So, now that you know, and now your next plan is we can let go and beat me with two. No, that's because I'm a weak old man, and I can't fight you one-on-one in this parking lot. I can. I don't choose to. I choose to jump and snipe you. Yeah. I'm going to stand behind you with a slingshot, and I'm going to shoot you in the head with a fucking ball bearing from over there. I'm not going to confront you. I'm too old. I don't want you to get lucky and kick me in my nuts, and I'm going to be pissing blood out at the end of my dick for the rest of my life. You could get a lucky shot in and kick my fucking nuts up into my throat. Hey, let's say you got these street guys coming up to me, and you respect me because of beat all of them, and now you're saying plan B would be wait till he falls asleep and beat his ass with 2 bucks. Well, that's my way. But you're missing that concept. I'm saying I don't have the ability anymore at my age for the 4th degree black belt. Put you on the down for I have a 4th degree black belt in blood. Okay? I'm not going to use that if you and I got into a fight. I'm going to say I could, if I had to, do some damage to you. My point is what I prefer to do, what I prefer to do as a person is I'm going to just walk away from the situation. And if I'm home and this is beating me up, I just can't take it anymore. The next time I see you, I'm going to run you over with my car or jump out of the fucking piece of ice wrapped in newspaper. And I'm going to beat you to shit with a fucking steel pipe, and I'm going to walk over to a drain. And I just pull the pipe loosely in the newspaper, and the pipe falls out of the newspaper, right? And into the drain, no fingerprints, over there. So you can't, if you're later, you can say, well, he beat me with a steel pipe. Yeah, they found it, but there's no fingerprints, so you can't blame me. All this crap, but we don't want to know that. Right. We want to make you better. High five. We want to make you better. Water under the bridge. I say, but it originally started up in the north with the mob. I want to know what the family name is. That's what I wanted to know. No, you're not going to do that. You're not going to do that. Why is it such a secret? You're lucky you didn't get put into a 55-gallon drum filled with oil and dropped out in front of the Lamborghini into the truck and disappeared. You're lucky you're not in the foundation. Because I found out that the cops and the judges are lined up. Yeah. It's only been going on since, what, 300 years since we've been here? Okay. But 9 years ago, instead of all the gray hair you're getting, somebody say, okay, this is how the gears turn, this is the boss, this is who you're going to be working for, and no name comes up. But you're somewhere along the line, you don't have the ability. Because if I have those people here, and I heard your side of the story, and I heard their side of the story, and we could balance out what really happened. I only had one side of the story. I don't know what your bosses would be telling you. That's another thing. The Italians in the north. I used to work for them. I know. You don't fuck with them. They fucked with me. Well, you first floor, and I did what I had to do, and this is my post. Now, that's fine. Yeah, I'm running the court. You lost because you didn't have the right counsel. See where you're going? You see where you're going? They go to these people. You see where you're going with your life? Sitting here, they're trying to negotiate for them. I hope somebody's going to get in trouble. Yes, what? Somebody's going to get in trouble because of what I caught them doing. See, if you're and say that I did this and rape them and beat them, and they were children. You're a child molester. And you know what that's going to get? Nobody's going to believe that, though. I've never done anything like that. Yes, they will. You know what? What? We believe lies faster than anything we can see. I don't care if it's a lie or not. You're a fucking child molester. If I scream that out in that restaurant, everybody in there is going to say, they're going to believe me and not you. And you know how much of a leg you have to stand on? None. And guess what happened? Prove it. Prove it didn't happen. You have no way of proving it didn't happen. And you also said that there's a girl, some girl that I sexually fondled and staring at her kids. Who the heck is this person? Anybody I want it to be. It's invisible. It's a fucking lie. Right, it's a lie. And don't you think hard to know me and my character and I've never done anything like this? This mirror.
Self-explanatory.
That you think you can just walk down the street at 2 o'clock in the morning and life is good. Yeah, because this is the United States of America. Not anymore, it's not. We took that away since we shot Kennedy in 1963. Where the fuck have you been? We changed the rules. We just forgot to tell you what they are. That's what I want to know. And in 1 second, we're going to change the rules again. And I'm not going to say what those rules are. They're whatever I say they are. I got the badge, I got the gun, and I can do anything I want to do. And guess how much recourse you got? Your daddy is a Fortune 500 multi-millionaire to bail your ass out like some movie star who fucks up, beats his wife up, and what happens? 2 days later, he bails out of jail. You ain't bailing out of jail. There's no money to bail you out with. Okay, that's fine. I'm going to leave you there. I'm not afraid of the intimidation. You already should have learned that in the past 10 years. You don't want to go to jail today. It's not intimidation. I need you to change the rules. I understand, but I want you out of jail. Okay? Now, just for the shits and giggles, the Sopranos, who was calling the shots in the North? Who was this Italian family that I pissed off? We're never going to know. I'm not going to know their full. I'm not going to know that. Neither are you. So who's calling the shots? Who cares? It's a moot point. It's a moot point. I want to know holding the shots because for some reason somebody's telling you to tell me this, and I want to know who I pay homage to, which company I'm on. Every single fucking person on this planet you pay fucking homage to. You know why? Because you're the dog shit, and everybody else is superior to you. And if you don't pay me, if you don't pay me homage, you hear that key word? It was World War I. It ain't World War I anymore. It was World War II. Was is a bad word. That was then. You didn't grow a brain cell. You don't have a master's degree in college. You don't have a college degree. I don't need one. I was a top producer in every company. You guys fired every other shit fucking person out there. Trying to make it look like I was a potato peeler. No, what I need you to be is a potato peeler. Wow. Because you're funny. You gotta get away from where you're at. You're never going back there again. They will never let you do that ever. Never wear a tie ever again. Yes or no? And you want to be a potato peeler. You have to start somewhere. I already started. I'm not at the top. No. I don't matter. Up you over the coals, and you will never wear a shirt and tie for the rest of your life. You're going to be lucky to pick up dog shit in the park, and be humble and be grateful that there's dog shit there every day, so you have a job. Well, you just said the mafia. Who is the family? We don't know. There's 10 families, for Christ's sake, all over the world. Who knows who they are? I know who the shots over here. It's telling you to be a representative. I do. No, you gotta stop that. That's your problem. You're caring about something that's invisible. God, fucking name anything you want to name. I'm gonna make God punch you in the chiropractic. Can you argue with him? It's fucking invisible. So is the fucking mafia. So is President Bush. Everybody is fucking invisible. And you have no access to God, the mafia, President Bush, or me. You have no access to it. Now you just said President Bush, which was me. George Bush ordered the torture on you. I can tell you that's all over there ordering it on you. You're going to believe it what these other people tell you. You have no recourse. Okay, I understand. There is no recourse. Go away. There is no recourse. Come over. You know the worst problem is your mouth. You got to know when to fucking shut up. You bring right onto yourself the minute you open your mouth. You're suffering, you're crying, you're whining. I'm not crying or whining. You're bringing blame. Oh, the mafia did this and George Bush did that. Who would give you a job? They told me that this is what was said. Who is that? Give me his name and I'll run the guy like you inside here said you pissed George Bush off. He was the one that was really on the court. Those are the fucking Nazi Republicans. And there is no recourse. I just wanted to know for my own self who I was fighting against. Well, why would George Bush get pissed off? That's a lie. George Bush had nothing to do with it. You can't listen to these people. See, this is another thing that you don't have a skill level to understand. I mean, I was trying to compare sweet and low to heroin, and you blew that apart. You couldn't figure out, I don't do that. You go in the wrong direction. You're not listening to an example. I'm trying to give you an example of eye to eye. I have had methamphetamine, heroin, roofies, which I don't know what it is. Makes you forget. For 4 fucking days, you don't know what your name is. You don't know where it's something called sodium fluoride in small increments to speed up a heart attack. What? Stop pissing people off, they won't poison you. Okay. Yeah. Well, the sodium fluoride theory is going to affect me in this fucking town. Yes. Why would you want to affect me a year from now? 10 years from now? 100 years from now? You're fucked. So then I'm already doomed. Yeah. Now, why would you want to be in this parking lot for 1 more second of the rest of your life? Why don't you get the fuck out of town? Why though? You asked the wrong question. You just said people are trying to poison you, kill you, run you off, put you in jail, and you said that too. Yes, they did. Okay. So why would you want to be here? But I can't put you anywhere on this planet in the United States that you won't open up your mouth in 1 second and tell somebody obscurely that George Bush fired me from my job. And I'm not saying that. That's wrong. No, you missed the concept. You know what? If that's who I pissed off, they were fucking with you. We should have high-fived with George Bush and forget all about it. They were just... You said it before. George Bush are guys that are down the line 500 miles away to catch up with him. Yes. Yes, but George Bush wouldn't be held over the president. Nobody's doing it except yourself. There was no president when I was in his office at the White House. That's fine. That's no. That's totally impossible. Unless you were receiving the Congressional Medal of Honor from the president, you would never, ever see the fucking president. Ever. They told me you'll never see his face. Now, you were never in his office. You would never be in the White House. You couldn't get past the security guards to begin with. You couldn't get right. You were working anybody. They knew I was out. No, you could never get in the fucking White House. You were never there, in my opinion. I was outside the door. No. There was no Secret Service guy. You could be across the street on the other side of the fence. You could never, ever get through to the White House. On a tour, you took a tour of the White House. You had zero access to the president. Like I said, if he wasn't pinning the Congressional Medal of Honor on you in the Oval Office, you would have access to that man for about 39 seconds, and then they would have escorted you so far out of the fucking building and out of fucking Washington, your head would have been no access to the man. Zero. Zero access. He's not the one fucking with you. He's fucking with you with your own brain. Now, come on, you're not being honest, man. Yes, I am. You fucked up, and you have to realize that to get the shirt and tie is no longer an important ability. You gotta find a place to live. I have that. came in and everybody died, but you were late for work that day.
Admits drugging and poisoning me, and admits that I'm going to jail when I get to Jersey. Everybody on this tape is all connected and working together. There's also a Shane and a Tina that are on Camp Road. They pick you up. They say, we're part of your team. We want to help you. We know that you're not allowed in the shelter and you're freezing. You're sleeping out in the woods. We want you to sleep on our couch. They get paid to poison my food. I learned the hard way. Also, this guy Shane's wife, Tina, I heard them both talking. They said that she was going to say I raped her, and I ran out of the house. It was like, that's what Keith's talking about next. At 2 o'clock in the morning, I ran out of the house and tried to get away, and she called the police and said I raped her. The police pulled me over and said, well, what did you do to this girl? I said, I didn't do anything. She said I was going to rape her, and I ran. And they did the DNA sample, the rape kit. He explains.
Somebody was raped in town at 2 o'clock in the morning, and the girl described the guy, your height, your weight, and whatnot, and the cops said, well, we wrestling this guy with his laundry bag 14 times a week at 2 o'clock in the morning, maybe he's the rapist. So they already found her sexual rape kit with the DNA. So if they grab you, they'll get a court order for you. Match your blood to the one that they have and rule you out. Right. Now, that makes sense what you're saying, because I was at this guy in Grace house where part of the network set me up. I saw the setup and I got the hell out of there. I was doing my laundry. I left. They called the cops. That's who called the cops. They're walking down the block with his laundry.
Kurt admitted to me earlier that I was walking down the block with my laundry and I have no rights, etc.
Now, that's why they're surrounding themselves with scumbags who will bury you. And that's not good.
Will bury you. He already admitted the cops responded to me raping this girl. That's why they stopped me.
Investigate every fucking call that comes in. If somebody says you're walking down the, it could have been that lady in the house at 2 o'clock in the morning taking a piss, looking out the window and seeing you walking down the sidewalk with a bag. That's not who it was. Let's say what? It's the girl whose house I visited. It was this lady. The cops don't come and have to stop and investigate. You're putting yourself in all this life every single fucking day, and I want you to change. What, trying to escape from this girl getting ready to make allegations that I raped her? Stop and go in where I don't want you to go. Yeah, go on. There's no bail. There's no way. You would never. No. Stop. You got me crazy because you only want to go to that girl who you did with. Okay. You did not. Listen to me.
There's enough evidence there that he's trying to deny that they responded to a call and that he knows and he's working with this whole crew, this Shane and Tina, the guy's wife. They're poisoning my food. I got really sick. I felt like I was having heart attacks and I had to run out of the house. It all adds up that the cops responded to a rape call and he says I did rape her. They're trying to put me in prison. I have these guys with steel rods attacking me and coming up to me in my sleep. Hear this guy Greg talking about they're putting it on you, and it was something that they ordered online to kill machinists, and it goes airborne and you breathe it in, and I had to get out of Charleston in a hurry. When I got to New Jersey, I wrote to the mayor after he asked me to, and they arrested me the next day. At the Shane and Tina's house, I was sleeping on their couch. They threw me a towel and told me to enjoy myself, and they wanted a DNA sample. I thought that was kind of weird.
Right. 2 o'clock in the afternoon, 2 o'clock in the morning, any fucking time of the day or night. We have the right in this country to fuck with you because we want to.
Very interesting.
Leave the girl out. We're gone. You're racist. You're done. You're not in prison. It's a moot point. The cops know about her. They know about you. Okay. It's all in the fucking computer. Okay. Everything's good. Did you go to jail? No. Did anybody draw your blood? No. Yeah, but you guys are all looking for my DNA sample for a reason. We didn't draw your blood. The only way to get your DNA is if I draw it guys looking for a sperm sample. It's going to be, I don't want sperm. I'm going to draw your blood. This is probably going to be ending up drawing your blood one night. You with, and I will get every fucking sample of lies about you, everything. Yeah, you're gonna make it all up. I don't have to make it all. I'm gonna talk to them personally in New Jersey about you. Your neighbors, your kids, your school. No, each one of them is gonna lie. I'm not lying. I'm getting what they're gonna tell me. And if they're lying, that's not my fault. And then we'll present it to you. You don't want to do that. Why do you want to do that? Let's dig a hole in the ground all the way to the other side of the earth. Why would you want to do that? There's no purpose. You want to get to the other side of the earth, it's called a fucking airport. You're not going to dig a hole out here 500 miles deep. No, we're not going to do that. You want to dig that fucking hole so bad because you got something in your teeth and you won't get rid of it. Get some dental floss, get that the fuck out of there, and problem solved.
I'm just going to call these people in New Jersey, my kids, my mother, and get samples of lies on me. They force them to lie.
It's going to have nothing else to do but fuck with you every single fucking day because you do this all day fucking long. Yeah, go to a man, sit at the counter, order your coffee, and beyond that, I want a padlock on you. Okay.
This is one of many that is told to give me food. They claim to be from the church. They'll give you $20 and drug your food.
Well, peanut butter sandwich seems like it's high in protein and fiber. Well, I just went to the bathroom before I've been eating a lot of fiber. Come on, that's a regular, huh? What kind of nuts are those? Those are flaxseed and head nuts. Yeah. Yeah, like marijuana? Yeah. On my peanut butter sandwich? Yeah. How do you expect me to pass a fit test and go get a job now? It's living on vacation. Oh, I was gonna say. You need that at your house? Yeah, they sell those things.
He admits he gave me a peanut butter sandwich with marijuana in it that he made at his house. This is happening ever since I got to Charleston. I wouldn't eat the food. I've had heroin, acid, small increments of methamphetamine, and rat poison. They all admit. I hope this tape is proof enough, and this is the end of the tape. Stand by. Continuation 14 February 12, Air John Quayle, total. This is a continuation of the mayor of Totowa. I'm back in New Jersey now, and it is the 14th of February 12. This is a continuation of the mayor, John Quayle, from Totowa. should be 35 to 40 reports, and that Chief Coyle, Detectives Blakely and Vanessa would not ever write the reports. I would come in every single week, and they would keep coming in and out of my apartment. There's a total transcript where they called that judge and told him to make it to my detriment. That transcript is quite interesting. I'm reporting Mr. Guzman and telling them that these guys are coming in and out of my apartment, and they made it to my detriment anyway. That's the Chief Coyle Totowa. The next day, 15 February, my past history with Chief Coyle is I would have to come to see him every week after they would steal these court orders and documents, and written correspondence from Nestor Guzman was stolen. They didn't want any proof that I was corresponding back and forth with Nestor Guzman, reporting Judge Capicello, Al Tamari, and everything that was going on. And I had experience 6 and 5 years ago with Chief Coyle coming in every single week and saying, look, you're part of it. You guys aren't writing any reports, and I got fired from HSBC. Came into your police department, I was fired from HSBC. Notice he says, okay, these are things that we already did already. Go ahead.
I had a conversation with you like the final point with it. Did you ever come up with anything on that stuff? Come up with like any kind of why don't we know reports written or anything? Why don't we get fired from the job? Like a lot of
responsibility for not writing the reports 5 and 6 years ago, saying, well, why would you want to do something about that now? That happened a long time ago. That is a standard procedure that I'm running into response in the past 15 years. Everywhere I go, they don't write reports. They say, well, we didn't write the reports. He's admitting responsibility for not writing the reports years ago, but saying, well, why would you want these reports now?
Come on.
just said that people are going into unlocked cars and also harassing people. See, he lowers his voice. He says people are going into unlocked cars and harassing people. But right now the cycle is good. The cycle is over. I wish you luck too, Chief. At 2 hours and 47, he looks at me and lowers his voice. He says, people are going into unlocked cars and harassing people. But now the cycle is good. The cycle is fine. And I said, what do you mean? He said, everything will be okay. 15 February, Chief Coyle, Toadwell. The next day I was arrested. I was arrested for nothing. When we got to court, there was no allegation. Nothing ever came up, no charge. And the first 10 seconds I sat down in court, it was Guzman. I wanted to see what he would do. I know Guzman. I dealt with him. I was reporting Capicello and Altamari to him from 2000 to 2002. You know how persistent I am. I was in and out of his office. I would deal with him directly, written correspondence back and forth from him. And there's also a transcript of my daughter's mother coming to court and making an allegation that I used to do sexual things to my daughter. And that is her reason for not letting me see my daughter. My question is, from 1 to 13 years old, if I did sexual things to my daughter, how was I able to see her? How was that possible that the courts would write things in my favor? Why would 1998 Randolph Bryan tell mom and stepdad they are going to jail if they get caught one more time? This next conversation is at the Good Shepherd, 336 Broadway, on 12 or 13 February 12, before I saw the mayor and before I saw Chief Coyle. Now, make a note, that Coyle comes up and says Sean Mitchell to the mayor on the 14th. On the 15th, I'm talking to the chief. I asked him about Sean Mitchell. He says, oh yeah, I know Sean Mitchell, and admits he said that the night before. This is Sean Mitchell at 336 Broadway, the Good Shepherd, on 12 or 13 February 12. I asked him, what is your name again? He says, Sean Mitchell. I repeat it. I say, Sean Mitchell? Question mark. He says, 1978 I was born. That proves that Mayor Quero and the total police department are involved in all this corruption with this guy, Sean Mitchell. Next up to Good Shepherd, I went up to a staff member and I asked him to call the man in front of me by his name. Okay, that proves that Sean Mitchell was at the Good Shepherd. He states his name. I ask him, what is your name? He says, Sean Mitchell. I repeat his name back. He says, I was born in 1978. There should be a record of him at the Good Shepherd. And that was a staff member calling him by his name, telling him he had to take a shower. I'd like to make a note. During the conversation with Chief Coyle, I said, I came into your police department and reported these things happening in my apartment, and you fired me from HSBC. He said, we already did these things, yeah. And he's looking at me in the eye, letting me know, yeah, we did that. To make another note, during the Chief Coyle interview, he told me before I left, he lowers his voice and looks me in the eye and tells me people are vandalizing people's cars and it was a cycle, but that cycle is over now. I said, what do you mean by that? And he says, everything is fine now. To make another note, Nestor Guzman, who doesn't know me, said I was incompetent to stand trial. The first 10 seconds we sat down on the court date, I think it was 16 March 12, I sat down and I was surprised. I said, oh, this is Nestor Guzman. I've been reporting him, Dr. Dasher, and Capicello for the past 15 years, telling them they're all corrupt and receiving calls from Altamari. On the transcript where my daughter's mother hangs herself in court and comes in after all these years and says, oh, he was doing sexual things to my daughter. I saw Guzman and on that transcript, and as soon as we come out of the gate in that court hearing, it was 2001 or 2002, I report Guzman to himself. I said, you are corrupt, you take bribes, and you're getting calls from Sandra Altamari. That was after already knowing him and dealing with him and his corruption, trying to cover everything up, sending me letters that everything is fine, all his judges dealing with Altamari, there's nothing wrong with that, and stealing all those documents and proofs, and that is on the Totowa transcript. They had different guys coming in and out of my apartment when I wasn't there, and I caught one. He had all kinds of different things that were valuable to me, the correspondence back and forth, different offices. It has his blood on some of the envelopes that he had under his coat trying to leave my apartment. And we had it out, and I retrieved the things he was trying to steal, but it's just amazing how Nestor Guzman could put me in jail and declare me incompetent to stand trial. I walked into his courtroom and they said, you're incompetent to stand trial. There was never any trial, never any allegation, never any charge. I was held without trial for 3.5 years. I'd like somebody to look at the Nestor Guzman transcript, 2001 or 2002 family court where my daughter's mother's there. It's very interesting. As soon as we came out of the gate, I confronted Guzman and reported him to himself. When I said Nestor Guzman, who doesn't know me, I was just saying that in a manner where it's just funny how he claims he doesn't know me after all the 2 years relationship that we had going back and forth to court from 2002. That transcript where my mother, Danielle's mother, appeared in court, me telling Guzman that he's receiving phone calls from Altamari. He said he knows her and they all know each other and just be quiet and they'll let me work. So that's the deal they give you. Okay, if you're quiet, we did all these things. Coyle's admitting that they vandalized my car and that cycle's over, and that everything is fine now. Everybody's basically admitting that they did all these things, and the deal I would receive is, well, if you don't tell anybody that we're doing all these things, we'll let you work. That didn't seem like such a good deal to me. I'm in Passaic now. Today is the 3rd of September. They were horsing around. You should have the tape of the guy down in South Carolina telling me that he was hacking into my Facebook and hacking into different accounts and sending people emails from me. I am in Passaic now, and I made a new Facebook, and I called 10 people that I sent messages to. They said they are not getting the messages from me on Facebook. They're blocking it. My sister and brother-in-law, my brother-in-law has been fired from his job, and my sister and brother-in-law have been very upset. They're being harassed, receiving threatening phone calls, told that when I come to their house to give me messages that I'm going to be fired from my job and arrested, and it's really horrible what's happening to my family. The people in my family I'm very, very close with that are threatened. They are not allowed to speak to me. I try and get in touch with them. They are threatened and told they're to have no contact with me. Best friends are in fear of speaking to me. I try and get in touch with them. They don't call back. My sister is told she is not allowed to speak to me, and after she doesn't speak to me 2 to 3 to 4 months, the psychiatrist down at the Seton Center, a couple blocks from here, she tells you, says, you're having family problems, your family doesn't like you, you don't get along with your family. And I'm like, what are you talking about? She says, well, your sister doesn't talk to you. The only time my sister is allowed to speak to me, she has been hysterical, in tears on the phone. The few times they allowed her to speak to me, and at her house, she was begging me to get the word out to New Jersey, just like my parents, what was happening to them. And my sister called me the other day, and she said, I received a Facebook from your daughter. I said, oh, really? What does it say? It says, Dad, you're a horrible father. I didn't want to see you. All these crazy things my daughter would never, ever write or ever say. My sister is on the phone, says, I wrote back to her, and I'm telling her, I go, Karen, Danielle did not write that. There's a guy down in South Carolina, they hack into your account, and they send people Facebooks that are not even from that person. So my sister said, well, Danielle, you know your dad's crazy and he's on medication, and I'm sorry you feel. She's just restating what they're telling her and forcing her she has to call me and say. So you just got to go along with it. My sister is saying the most insane, craziest things that she's being forced to say, and my daughter would never ever say that. I finally got in touch with my daughter. It's impossible to find her. I was at Trenton Psychiatric Hospital. Mr. Guzman put me there, and I was just held without trial. And the psychiatrist there, when I was sent there, told me, Mr. Guzman told me to keep you here as long as possible and make delays. And my message was, okay, I know Mr. Guzman. I was accused of violating a restraining order, and she tells me all these intimate details about myself. Says, we're going to say that you attacked people, and in South Carolina you can't hold a job because you're dysfunctional. What else? All these crazy things. I go, how do you know that I was in South Carolina? How do you know all these things about me? I report her, I write her up, they just wash it out. My sister was hysterical on the phone, saying she loves me and she's forced to do all these things to me. I said, don't worry about it, just trust in God. I was able to track my daughter down. They let me speak to her for the first time in 15 years for about 40 to 50 seconds. She was really hanging on, holding back tears, and said, Dad, is this really you, or are they playing a game with me? I said, Danielle, it's me. I love you more than anything in the world. She said, Dad, I love you more than anything in the world. I think about you every single day. She said, Dad, I drive an 09 Nissan truck. It's black, and I work for a textile company, etc., etc. She was trying to tell me where I could find her. This was a few years ago. Her husband grabbed the phone away from her and told her that that's too much information. He doesn't want a relationship with my daughter, and that I was getting too intimate with her and didn't want us talking, and cut the relationship off. I tried to call back. He told me that when I got out of Trenton Psychiatric Hospital, I would not see my daughter, that he was involved with the West Patterson Police Department and the Senator Altamari, and that they would have me arrested. My daughter told me that she was in fear of going to jail. She wrote something, it's called Danielle Sattel 1387 in Google, and you basically have to decode the whole thing, that you have to blur out all the other lines. She's giving a message. What was happening to her was very similar. What was happening to me through her own personal experience. She understands what I'm going through. This is her writing. And that although we're all here together, there's very little chance we'll be able to interact with each other, which was happening to her when she was on the phone with me. Her husband was monitoring the call, not letting us speak, and that whenever she sits down somewhere, somebody comes and sits WordPress that she wrote in the computer, that she's being isolated and she doesn't like it, and there's many other things that she is writing in there that only I could decode. I decoded the whole thing, and that's what she's going through. Good morning. Today is the 4th. I wanted to sit in the car with you. Anyone who has been captured, they have no voice. I am their voice. That is the final word, okay? They're counting on me to get the word out, and I gave them instructions to take the path of least resistance until I come. You know what it says in Revelation 13. It is basically the threat that they're receiving, so it's best for them to take the path of least resistance until I come. Remember, when we were sitting in the car, I wanted you to witness something. I opened a book, and it said, go to the 2 governors in the provinces across the river. That happened. That was back then. I wonder if you caught on to that. Now watch this. I have a simple, very simple message, and they try and change that message. Danielle writes in her WordPress, they alter thought and try and change what you mean. Jesse says to laugh at the devil, and I know what he means, because everything that he's doing around here is basically more comical than anything I've ever seen in my life. They come to me trying to make me think that I'm talking to Martha or Mary, and it always turns out to be different. I open the book, and it says 2 John 7:13, and I say, wait a minute, this is not Martha and Mary, and I immediately just walk out. I have had 15 and 16-year-old girls come up and tell me that they're affiliated with my wife, and she wants me to sleep with them and try and lure me into a dark altar. My instincts are saying, wait a minute, what the heck is going on here? This isn't right. So you could just imagine what the devil does, and Jesse says just laugh at him. By the way, sir, la foi en Dieu, Jésus Christ, Seigneur. Watch out for someone that comes up and they make a suggestion. In the suggestion is a lie that in itself exposes the deception. The Bible says you shall know them by their fruit. Joyce is Jezebel. She comes and she says, well, who can I help today? Jezebel would do that every day. She's basically trying to help you out of your inheritance. 2 John 7:13 explains. The suggestion is a lie, and they need access to your mind. Whatever you watch, they take on the characteristics and try and make me think I am listening to Christ or Martha and Mary. What was freaking me out is I knew they were doing the same thing to you, and I wanted to warn you of them. So the tactic is make me think I'm listening to Christ or Martha and Mary to get your attention. Inside that is the suggestions and the lies, and they're trying to, all these subliminal messages are interwoven into the message, which is definitely not from Christ. It's not from Martha or Mary. The Bible warns me you got to stick to the Word. Stay in the Word and just beware of them. You'll know them by their fruit. My exposing them and basically turning them in and telling what they're doing is a sin. I know you're saying, wait a minute, that's not a sin. They say it's a sin. Here's Joyce. If you sin, I will destroy the motor on your car. They did this to my parents. They did this to my daughter. They did it to my niece and nephew. Oh, there's no talking. It's a sin. It's crazy. It's like you're dealing with Charles Manson is coming to you and saying he's Jesus Christ. I'd like to make a note. This guy Keith Hudson down in South Carolina, you should have the tape. He says, I am going to call New Jersey, call your parents and your daughter and get samples of lies. They force them to lie. It's almost like they have a gun to their head. They tried to do the same thing to me. It absolutely does not work. Just stay in the Word and just keep with the same message. It says in Revelation, anybody that tries to change this message, what will happen to them? I remember sitting with you and you said what you thought the bigger picture was. The bigger picture, I am going to sit with you and just explain to you. It's glorious. It's going to blow your mind. It's really great. It's a great word. I want to thank you for your help. is today, and I really think I could have helped you along. You were separated from the Word, and what Joyce is doing is trying to, anytime I say the word, discourage you from saying the word. Oh, here comes Mr. Negative. Watch out, everybody run. It's all psychology. Basically tries to discourage you and make you think, oh wow, I better not say that, or everybody thinks it's negative and this and that. They know exactly what they're doing. There's many more besides Joyce. You'll know them by their fruit. I would try and deliver the message to you, which you know now. For 5 years in South Carolina, and someone would come that heard the message and they say, oh, are you complaining again? It's all psychological, trying to discourage you from talking. Try and communicate as much as possible. It was great to sit with you, and I look forward to meeting with you again. Think about you all the time. Danielle, I love you. And Baruch Hashem. Message. This will be the result of not receiving that message. How is that complaining? You just have to understand.
This is the end of a series of 3 tapes. On the first session, this knucklehead with the steel rod approaches me and he's getting ready to hit me. These knuckleheads are basically a glutton for punishment. There's a cop that comes. He's involved in it. I ask him his name. He says Joe Dex or Joe Beeks or Joe Meeks. At 18 minutes and 20 seconds, he says his name is Joe Beeks or Meeks. At 19 minutes and 12 seconds, remember this, Keith Hudson says that he's going to hit me with a pipe, and you're going to be leaving South Carolina very soon. At 19 minutes 12 seconds, this Charleston cop comes on the second assault. He says, I want you to avoid getting hit with a pipe by leaving. Now, what kind of cop is going to come up to you and tell you he just wants you to avoid getting hit by a pipe? I've got to run away from these guys every time he's involved in it. And he also admits in the beginning of the session with this Charleston cop, after the second assault with this guy with the pipe, he says, yeah, I know who you are. I remember you hit the guy with a stick last week and the sheriff came, and you have some kind of a restraining order on you in New Jersey. So he knows who I am. And he admit that he already knew that this guy or somebody hit somebody with a pipe or whatever. Then he says, well, I don't know who did it. We're just going to take you both to jail. I want you to avoid getting hit with a pipe by leaving. Now remember, this guy, Keith Hudson, says, I'm going to hit you with a pipe the next time I see you. And it's going to be legalized mortar. At 18 minutes 26 seconds, he says, I don't know about the sheriff's reports, but states in the conversation that he knows about the sheriff's report. Earlier in the conversation, he's lying. At 22 minutes and 2 seconds is Ian Malone. At 22 minutes and 47 seconds, he says, you get the message when you get a message and you look at the computer and it records your bank information on the computer. At 27 seconds, 24 minutes, I make him state his name. He says Ian Malone, and then he says, oh, you're Doug Sattel. At 29 minutes and 10 seconds, he believes in civil disobedience. At 30 minutes, he says, this is what you think when I say I want a job. I say, you know, I want a job. And he says, yeah, that's what you think. At 34 minutes and 30 seconds, he wiped out all the other species. That's pretty scary. You think about that. We're going to wipe out all the other species. He knows these guys come to me and make me think there's somebody that I'm friendly with or somebody that I trust or know. And then they start talking crazy like this, and it's all the Sandra Altamori behind it. Wipe out all the other species. I want you to think about that. At 36 minutes and 40 seconds, he says, attack the electric grid. These cuckoos do things like that. At 39 minutes and 5 seconds, he says to me, do you think that ass over there knows what he's drinking? And he points to my water. At 43 minutes and 4 seconds, this guy is Doug Bourne. This was my first or second day in Charleston. I was approached, and they're trying to get me to go to a mental assessment. The approach is, and the lure is, these two guys come up. Says, "Hi, we know who you are and we're from the church. We're going to help you get a job really quick. I want you to report to this church and see this guy." So I go to the church, and at this point, no matter who I'm talking to, I'm going to record them because they're all out of their mind. He says, "We're going to take control of you." I'm like, what? At 44 minutes and 26 seconds, he says, "At the moment, you're going to have trouble getting work." At 45 minutes and 2 seconds, he says, "We'll give you your life back." At 49 minutes and 36 seconds, Bourne says, "We will contract on your life." They're going to put a contract on my life. "If you give us this, we'll give you a contract." I say, "What do you mean by that?" At 50 minutes, he says nothing. And he says, "We took a bribe." At 51 minutes and 5 seconds, Bourne says, "Don't volunteer any information to anyone." At 52 minutes and 10 seconds, etc., he says, "Don't tell anyone about the bribe." At 52 minutes and 37 seconds, he says, "It will be impossible for you to get legal justice." He says, there was a massacre at a village. At 53 minutes and 14 seconds, he says, "Your daughter was cleaved in half." Now, this is maybe the first 10 minutes in sitting with this guy, and the questions that are coming up, I'm thinking, holy crap, who the heck is this guy? How does he know all these things about me? Took a bribe, and we're sorry, and we're going to take control back from you, but you have to go to the VA for a mental health assessment. And I'm like, what does that have to do with getting a job? You told me to come here for a job. I don't understand. So that's what I was feeling while all this was going on, and it's a blessing that these guys are actually coming out and admitting all these things. At 53 minutes and 14 seconds, he says, "Your daughter was cleaved in half, and you're mad about that." At 53 minutes and 58 seconds, the Charleston police says, "You must report murder in Charleston." I'm telling them there's a contract on my life. This guy's admitting bribery. They said that you must report murders happening in Charleston at Aiken Police. Very interesting. At 54 minutes and 58 seconds, says you've got to make this report in Aiken. It's obvious that we're at the Charleston Police Department, and I tell her and I state exactly what was happening. She says, "Well, you got to report this stuff in Aiken." Very interesting. At 56 minutes and 41 seconds, I came home to New Jersey. I was at the Good Shepherd Mission at 336 Broadway, and every single one of those guys wanted a piece of me. They wanted to steal all the tapes that they knew were in my bags. This guy approaches me, he's a real weirdo. He sits down next to me. They come very subtle, they're persistent, and you basically just turn your tape recorder on every time somebody comes up and talks to you at this point. Guy says, "Yeah, I'm going to steal all your credit cards, we're going to do this to you, we're going to do that to you." I go along with him. "What's your name?" He says, Sean Mitchell. At 57 minutes and 56 seconds, the next day, I go to the Total Police Department. Chief Coyle, he says that there's no reports, and this happened a long time ago. He admits that every time I came into the Total Police Department, him and all his guys would never write reports whenever they would sugar the tanks in my cars, knock the mirrors off my cars with baseball bats, and break-ins in my apartment, stealing all the court docs. And he says, admits not writing the reports, takes responsibility for that at 57 minutes, 56 seconds. And he says, "Oh, all that happened a long time ago. Why should I write reports?" At 58 minutes and 44 seconds, I say, "Well, why no reports? There should be 35 or so reports." At 59 minutes and 15 seconds, Coyle says, "Well, stay out of Totowa." At 59 minutes and 40 seconds, Coyle admits, says Sean Mitchell the night before. He says, "Yeah, he's in the band." Now, it's very interesting that I was just threatened, and this guy, Sean Mitchell, is on tape at the Good Shepherd. He's following me around Patterson. I was talking to the mayor the night before, and mayor's in on it. Chief Coyle comes up and interrupts. He's talking to Mayor John Cuero Toto and says, yeah, who were those guys following me around? And he was talking to the mayor, hoping I would hear. He says, oh yeah, that was Sean Mitchell. So at 59 minutes, 40 seconds, Coyle admits Sean Mitchell, and he is in the band. At 1 hour, 3 minutes, and 10 seconds, this kid Brian admit putting drugs in my food. That happened in Charleston. At 1 hour, 3 minutes, and 45 seconds, after this guy Keith Hudson says you went down to the police and I fired you from your job. So now, after he says that, I'm going to go to my job at the Golden Corral, and the next guy that comes up to me is going to fire me from my job. So you just turn the tape recorder on and let them do all the explaining. Amador at the Golden Corral tells me he knows these people that want to kill me because of things I'm saying outside of my job. And he says that Mr. Pace got in my face the other day because of this. Mr. Pace was the manager. Mr. Pace approaches me at 1 hour, 06 and 6 seconds. Says, Mr. Pace got in your face because you talk. At 1 hour, 7 minutes, and 20 seconds, I say, is that why Mr. Pace did that to me? He says, yes. At 1 hour, 9 seconds, 1 hour, 9 minutes, and 40 seconds, I say, if I don't talk, Mr. Pace won't fire me. He says, don't talk. At 1 hour, 10 minutes, and 40 seconds, says, you know Mr. Pace and he will fire me? He says, yes. At 1 hour, 12 minutes, and 15 seconds, I said, so tomorrow Mr. Pace will deny all of this? He says, yes. At 1 hour, 13 minutes, and 50 seconds, he says, they heard what's going on outside of here, and this is the fourth time I had to talk to you and had to speak to you about this, about talking. And obviously I don't care. He's confronting me about talking outside of work. At 1 hour, 15 minutes, and 30 seconds, my dad is asking me for help. I tried to get the message to you guys as quickly as possible when I came to New Jersey. At 1 hour, 18 minutes, and 46 seconds, John Cuero, mayor of Totowa, I'm explaining to him break-ins at my house, and Chief Coyle, Van Ness, and Blakely will not write reports, and I explained that Altamari called the judges so I can't see my daughter, and steals all the court docs out of my apartment. At 1 hour, 20 minutes, and 55 seconds, the chief approaches and says, hey, who are those guys? Meaning the guys that are following me around Patterson. And he mentions Sean Mitchell. At 1 hour, 30 minutes, and 10 seconds, the mayor acknowledges he hears me and understands everything that I'm telling him. At 1 hour, 34 minutes, and 8 seconds, Keith Hudson, 1 hour, 41 minutes, and 1 second, stating how he will get my daughter to lie. This Randolph Sobrian, 1998, knew exactly what they were doing to my daughter down south. You guys should have tape that's very important of my daughter's mother after she was supposed to go to jail, as per Randolph Sobrian in 1998, stating that she's going to go to my daughter and bring her to the judge, and stating that's what she's going to tell the judges, and letting you know she's going to coerce my daughter, that she's going to go to court and tell the judges something. Now that's a rumor. I don't know if that happened or not. I was in court the whole time for 2 years. To my knowledge, my daughter was never brought into the court. That didn't happen for 2 years when I was in court. A rumor happened. They approached me on the street and said, yeah, we brought your daughter to court the other day and put her on camera. I didn't believe it. I don't know if that's true or not. If it is true, Randolph Sobrian said, there is under no circumstance am I going to bring that kid into court. I know what you're going to do, enforce her to say she doesn't want to see her dad and lie. This Keith Hudson admits that they're going to make her do that. At 1 hour, 30 minutes and 10 seconds, Mayor acknowledged he hears me and understands all. We already did that. At 1 hour, 42 minutes and 20 seconds, I say, how can you sit there and say that I raped my 9-year-old daughter? And he says, people love lies. At 1 hour, 45 minutes and 8 seconds, he says, will have me killed and takes responsibility for the 3.5 years I just did in jail. At 1 hour, 46 minutes and 50 seconds, he says, I can't even read my own writing on this note. He says that he will lie his ass off. At 1 hour and 49 minutes, I'm at the Huddle House, which is the only place they will let me eat. I am aware of what is happening to me and what happens if I eat at the Huddle House or the church, and I constantly try and find other sources of food. If I go to the Salvation Army, I'll eat 3 days of clean food, which was a luxury, not getting sick. They'll catch on to me at the Salvation Army in Charleston and say, oh, I know who you are. I was told you're not allowed to have any more food. If you want food, you have to go back to Folly and Camp, and that's the only place you're allowed to eat. They funnel you into a place where you're definitely going to be in harm's way if you eat the food. I stayed the course. I wanted to catch them. I was hoping that you guys would come pick these tapes up once a week. At 1 hour and 49 minutes, there's a guy behind me while this Keith Hudson is speaking to me. His name is Fred. Fred has something in his pocket, and he pulls it out into his hand. They call it a biodiesel product, which was really tearing me up. Some kind of a pill in his hand. He's ready to throw it in my coffee. And he tells Fred, hey, try and get that to burn in your truck, in your diesel truck. At 1 hour and 50 minutes, I am assaulted with a steel rod. Now, down the road, down Folly Road, at the Tides Hotel, there is a kid with blonde hair. He's maybe 20, 22 years old. He sits under the umbrella. When you pull into the parking lot of the Tides Hotel, the kid's maybe 20, 22, blonde hair, nice kid. While I'm being attacked with that steel rod, this kid's father, his name is Lee, nicest guy in the world, Angel, unaware, witnessing this guy trying to whip me with the steel rod. He called the police. He says, I just saw everything. I'm going to be a witness. He called the sheriff and told the sheriff, hey, I saw the whole thing. This guy comes up to this kid. He's sitting on the bench at Walgreens, and he's trying to hit him with a steel rod. He witnessed this assault. He called the police. The police come and report to my detriment and threaten to jail me. At 1 hour, 52 minutes and 26 seconds, says, I know where you live. At 1 hour, 54 minutes and 40 seconds, I tell Rich Robinson, I say, so you're hacking into my account and sent people emails from me? He says, yes. At 2 hours, 2 minutes and 30 seconds, this clown, his name is Cameron. There was a witness that is a good guy. He's an older man named Mr. Burgess that witnessed half this stuff and heard half this crap going down on Camp and Folly Huddle House. This guy Cameron would come up and they would try, when I'm not looking, have the chef put stuff in my food, and he admitted. He told me that he had a .357 Magnum in his pocket and he was going to shoot me. And I knocked the living daylights out of this guy. I thought Mr. Burgess was going to have a heart attack. The police came, and I said, before you even do anything stupid, there are dozens of tapes on this guy threatening me, and other people have them. Third parties have these tapes. So they didn't want it to go to court because I was going to talk, and maybe these tapes would surface in court. And the cops were like, no problem, we're not going to write any charge or anything. This guy Cameron was all upset. He was like, I can't believe you're not doing anything. And the cops were smarter than they looked. They said, well, we're not going to write it up. We definitely don't want this to go to court. If this guy's got tape somewhere, we don't want them to surface. This guy Cameron says rat poison in the water to kill me. At 2 hours, 11 minutes, and 10 seconds, Keith Hudson, 2 hours, 11 minutes, and 58 seconds, he says, if you piss me off, I'll put heroin, acid, and crack, and meth, and poison in your food. He admits that. 2 hours and 13 minutes, he admits having people put it in my food, and I will fail a drug test, and I won't have a leg to stand on. 2 hours and 13 minutes, 58 seconds, he admits the cop plants guns and knives on people, and it's called legalized murder. Now, I'll tell you something. I saw a guy that is no longer here. An innocent man in North Charleston that did absolutely nothing get shot in the back, and a taser was planted down. Thank God somebody was videotaping that, and I hope that you could justify half these people that are dead and being murdered, and do something about this Keith Hudson actually admitting that that's what's going on. At 2 hours, 15 minutes, 45 seconds, he says the next time he sees me, he will come at me with a steel pipe. That happened earlier, and says I will be leaving South Carolina very soon. Then the guy comes after me with a steel rod. Keith takes responsibility for this attack. He's a co-conspirator. At 19 minutes and 12 seconds, Joe Meeks, the Charleston cop, says he wants me to avoid getting hit with a pipe by leaving. Keith Hudson, Joe Meeks, the Charleston cop, and Rich Robinson all mate together. It's an unbroken chain of events, conspiracy to commit murder and assaults. At 2 hours, 25 minutes, he admits poison and say, yes, pissing people off and we want to poison you. Admits poison me and will jail me. At 2 hours, 33 minutes, and 52 seconds, he says, we'll call everyone, my daughter, my parents, and make them lie. Get samples of lies. Instead, these are samples of truth. At 2 hours, 41 minutes, and 15 seconds, Chief Coyle of Total Police Department says, I confront about our past, him and him never writing any reports. At 2 hours, 42 minutes, and 8 seconds, he admits fire me from my HSBC loan officer position in Paramus. Says, yeah, these are things we already did to you. I said, yeah, you guys fired me from my loan officer job at HSBC. He comes back and says, these are things that we already did to you. 2 hours, 44 minutes, and 40 seconds, he says, maybe I shouldn't come to Totowa. Instead of write the reports and do his job, he's a co-conspirator with all these people. It's quite evident at this point. At 2 hours, 45 minutes, and 10 seconds, he admits affiliate with Sean Mitchell from 336 Broadway, the Good Shepherd, and Patterson the night before. The chief approached me on tape and says he got Sean Mitchell after me. At 2 hours, 47 minutes, he lowers his voice and says, people going to unlock cars and harass people. But now the cycle's good. The cycle's fine now. And I'm like, what do you mean by that? I know what he means because I know who he is, and I know what he's doing and his involvement years ago. He says, but everything will be okay now. Note, Coyle admits firing me. He takes responsibility for vandalizing my cars. I only made $42,000 to $50,000 a year. I had a couple $5,000 cars that I maintain, and that's my horse. These are my legs. It gets me back and forth to work. I went through 3 cars where the mechanic down the street took the tank down and said, yeah, there's sugar in the tank. I would go to the Total Police Department every week. They wouldn't write reports. Joyce Meyer, who unfortunately tries to capture your interest and says things that, like, she's helping you and working with you, and all of a sudden things will surface. Well, she says something crazy and says, well, the next time you sin, we're going to destroy the motor in your car. Many, many, many other things. And what they do is they start saying something negative, and they want you to think negative and be negative, and they're trying to make a suggestion that you're a negative person. Oh, he complains all the time. Basically, I was fighting for my life in Charleston. I'm telling everybody I see in the street, look, you guys have to come and pick up these tapes. This is what's happening. I'm calling people, calling everybody I can, and there's no response. So then the wrong person would get that message, and the lady at Walgreens says, oh, are you complaining again? Joyce is in on that. It's basically called mind control. They do all kinds of things where they make a suggestion, and inside the suggestion there's a lie, and you're like, well, why is this person suggesting that I drink and that I'm an alcoholic? Now today, this guy explained to me, he's a psychiatrist. He says, here's what we do to you. Doug, we don't want you to think about that apple. Now, what did you just think about? You just thought about an apple. That shows up on a screen somewhere. It says, well, we don't want you to think about how you're an alcoholic. And it shows up on a screen somewhere, and they interpret the messages as, oh, he said he's an alcoholic and he thinks about drinking all the time. Anybody that knows me knows that I hate drinking and I've never drank, etc., etc. These guys are grasping at straws. It really doesn't work. I hope you understand what's going on and you can use this to your advantage. And you know, that's rough when a chief of police admits firing me and taking responsibility for vandalizing all my cars and having people harass me in town. Excuse me. 2 hours, 49 minutes, and 40 seconds to Sean Mitchell. Before Coyle mentions Mitchell, approaches me at 2 hours, 50 minutes, and 20 seconds. He says, clear, Sean Mitchell. At 2 hours, 50 minutes, and 56 seconds, the staff at the Good Shepherd calls Sean Mitchell by his name. That's all I have for now. I hope you can do something with this series of tapes. Thanks a lot, everybody, for your cooperation and all your help. And have a good one.